Hi there, and welcome to SolidSanity.com. This is Rebecca, and I just wanted to do a short video today on ways you can customize SolidWorks. So we'll start just talking about options a little bit. And in our options dialog, we have two tabs. The System Option tab is where you find options that affect all documents that you work on. So here you can set up your defaults for instance, how you want drawing documents to behave. Do you want your views always to come in as hidden lines removed? How do you want those tangent edges to be displayed by default, and so on? You can also modify options about how you want the feature manager to look on all documents that you work on. You can turn on and off information. This is also where you define file locations. So this is where you point out where SolidWorks needs to look for information outside of the program. Like, where is it going to find my templates? Where is it going to find my bill of material templates, my custom materials, my macros, and so forth? So system options, every document that you work on. Document properties are associated with the current document that you have open. And document properties are also saved with your templates. So if you find that you're modifying any of these properties over and over again, like the units of the document that you're creating, or some of the annotation properties, fonts, and so forth, it might be worth just going through and opening up a new blank document and modifying the document properties and saving that out as a template. And then you can access those particular options at any time. So these, of course, are going to be different whether you're working on an assembly like I have here. You'll see different properties if you're working in a drawing, and also different if you're working in a part. The other thing I want to point out is the Customize dialog. There's several ways you can get there. I like to right-click on a toolbar, and from that full toolbars list, I can access the Customize dialog here. It's also available in the Tools pull-down, Customize. And this is where you go to customize your interface. So the toolbars and how you're interacting with the interface, your keyboard shortcuts and your mouse gestures. So on the Toolbars tab here is where you turn on and off toolbars. The next tab over is where you customize the commands that you find on toolbars. So if you find yourself going into the pull-down list quite a bit for a particular command, it might just be worth throwing that onto a toolbar that you have showing in your screen. You can also build your own toolbar. Take a look at the command manager up here. You'll see this new tab whenever you're working within this Customize dialog, and I can right-click on it. I can add an empty tab to build my own toolbar. I could also add any of the other available default toolbars, the ones that I don't see come up here by default when I'm working in that command manager. Adding commands from this tab is just a drag and drop. So if I wanted to add any command, I could drag it on, or remove a command, drag it off. Menus is for customizing the pull-down menus. I don't usually mess with that too much. Keyboard shortcuts is a great way to help you be more efficient in SolidWorks. So if you really pay attention to how you're interacting with the program, if you're accessing a command over and over again, it might just be worth setting up a hotkey so it's easier for you to go ahead and launch that. And there's several default keyboard shortcuts that SolidWorks is loaded with, like new and open that we see here. You can filter this list and just take a look at all the commands that have keyboard shortcuts assigned to them right now. This search shortcut column over at the right, this is actually relatively new. This allows you to search for a command in the search field in your title bar. I can show you an example of that. Mouse gestures is a favorite enhancement of mine. You can customize this to have 4 or 8 gestures available. If we take a look at only the commands that I've associated with mouse gestures, we can see I've taken full advantage of this functionality. Save is always one that I recommend to people. I put save on my mouse gesture wheel so that no matter where I am, I can just flick my mouse down, in this case, and it's going to save my document for me. Mouse gestures are available by holding down your right mouse button and then just moving your mouse in a specific direction. And I'm saved. Now, another toolbar that I find gets overlooked way too often is the shortcut toolbar. The shortcut toolbar can be launched at any time just by pressing your S key on your keyboard. I've actually programmed a button on my mouse to launch the shortcut toolbar. So no matter where I am, I can just hit that button on my mouse or hit my S key on my keyboard, and I've got these functions available to me. So this is fully customizable. And once you've launched this toolbar, if you right-click on it, here's the option that you have to customize this. So you can drag and drop commands onto this toolbar, and it's going to be different whether you're working in an assembly, a part, a drawing, or a sketch. So it's just another way that you can access commands right next to your pointer. The other thing that is kind of unique about the shortcut toolbar is this is actually where that shortcut search comes in. So when I launch my shortcut toolbar, I can start typing any of those shortcut searches, and it's going to give me a shortcut to that command associated with that search. Kind of interesting. But this is actually another really cool way that, easy way that you can customize SolidWorks, this command search up here. You know, it's always available if you pull down. It's not only there with your shortcut toolbar, but I can do a search for any command, and I can launch it right from this search result. I can have the system show me where that command is located. Oh, mirror components, there it is. And I can also drag and drop the command from my search list right onto a toolbar. So it's got some pretty neat functions. I'm not really too sure where that whole search shortcut came up, but hey, if you want to use it, go for it. The other thing that I want to make sure to mention is the ability to save out all these custom settings. So once you've got SolidWorks set up the way that you want to use it, you're going to want to save that information, keep a backup of it in case you ever need to reinstall or work at somebody else's computer. Well, SolidWorks actually comes loaded with some tools that are automatically installed, and you'll find these in your programs list. So Windows Start, All Programs, SolidWorks 2012, and we've got a directory there called SolidWorks Tools. So Copy Settings Wizard is what we're looking for here. It allows me to save the settings that I've customized in my program. It'll save out this keyboard shortcuts, menu customizations, system options, and any modifications I've done to the toolbars. Document properties are saved with your templates, so that's how you retain those options. Now, this is also a good tool to standardize settings company-wide. For instance, file locations in your system options. That's where you define all those locations for templates and external information that SolidWorks is using. Good idea to save that out and apply it to all your users. Make sure everybody's on the same page, getting all their information from the right place. This just creates a file that can be double-clicked to apply the settings to the SolidWorks installation, or you can launch this wizard and use the restore options as well. Well, that's it for customizing SolidWorks for today. I am intending to have a full tutorial video on templates someday soon, so keep an eye out for that. But for now, I'm Rebecca, signing off.